Hello and welcome to a new video series that I'm going to experiment with on this channel. I want to talk about tech. So I think I'm going to call this series Tech Rants. It'll just be me ranting from a consumer perspective about, things that I find annoying in the technology and computer world or things that I want to talk about regarding that as a consumer. For episode 1 here, I'd like to talk about the USB-C connectors and cables. So if you're like me, if you grew up in like the late 90s and 2000s and you were into tech and you're about, plus or minus 30 years old right now, you probably have a box of various types of cables for all kinds of old electronics that you have used over the years, old cell phones, printers, cameras, any number of things. And I remember as a kid, I had all these fucking cables. I just thought to myself, man, wouldn't it be nice if there was just a universal cable? And then I thought to myself, no, these big tech companies, they know what they're doing. Each cable has a specific purpose. I should shut the fuck up. I'm just a dumb kid. I don't know anything. Well, little did I know, I was actually the fucking genius because the European Union, just a few years ago, made USB-C the standard. Now, I don't live in the EU, but I thank them every day when I buy a new piece of consumer electronics and I realize that, hey, it's USB compatible, even though it's not a mobile phone. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the EU, they basically said that all new mobile phones sold in the EU have to be USB-C compatible. So none of this micro USB, none of this Apple Lightning port, none of this proprietary crap that keeps changing every year or every couple of years just contributes to electronic waste. I learned also that laptops in the European Union are also going to have to fall in line with this rule in 2026 at some point. That's really interesting. I know that there's already laptops these days that do charge with a USB-C connector. We're at the point now where any electronics that are, manufactured in the post-COVID era really are going to most likely have a USB-C port, unless there's some other really specific reason why it can't have a USB-C if it, has like the wrong voltage or whatever. I've got an Xbox controller that takes a USB-C connector. How cool is that? Like, it's a wired controller, but you can use your phone charger's cord to play the game. Or your mobile power bank that you take camping. Most of the time, those are USB-C compatible. Rechargeable flashlights. Rechargeable anything, really. If it's got a, portable device with a rechargeable lithium battery or whatever, 99% of the time, it's going to have a USB-C connector on it. And thank the Lord for that, because my God, I've got like 2 or 3 boxes full of just various outdated electronics, and I'm just so happy that everything is USB-C these days because it really doesn't make any sense to not do that. So yeah, I just wanted to rant about that because, I could never throw out a cable. There were times where I was moving and I'm like, do I need this cable? I should throw this out. I don't even remember what this is for. It might be that, camera that I only use once every 5 years or so. Something that I need this cable to be a backup for if the one I have ever stops working. A lot of the time government regulations come in and they kind of make everything more difficult. But, I think this is one of those things where it's a good thing, like seatbelts in cars. And I find it really strange that it took this long to get like a standardized cable because USB has existed for a very long time. I don't know exactly how long it's been around, but there are USB ports on the front of the PlayStation 2. So they've been around since at least 2000. I went and looked it up, and USB ports in general have been around since 1996. So yeah, going on almost 30 years of USB in general. And then USB-C has been around since like 2014. Even if the device you're using breaks, like if the charging port breaks, you're going to have an easier time repairing that device because USB-C ports are going to be so ubiquitous that you could order the replacement part and solder it in and it would be fine. Not to say that you can't do that with anything else, but I mean, in the big 2.5, who's going to stock a frickin' FireWire port if that breaks? You know what I mean? Like, if you want to keep an old piece of electronics running, you need to get a replacement FireWire port or like a 12-volt DC input port or something like that that's like not even made anymore. Then you're shit out of luck. But USB-C, something tells me that that's going to be around for a long time, and I'm all here for it. So thank you, European Union.